All right, you got any smudges on there? I can't tell. Oh, that's pretty good. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am about to hit the Albany Rail Trail, and I am going to be doing, I think, 9 miles in total. I'm going to throw on the Garmin chest strap monitor or heart rate monitor so that I can get live HR to my watch. And I think the first mile is going to be a warm-up. Then we're going to do 5 miles at essentially a MAF aerobic threshold. So for me, that's 180 minus your age. I'm a whopping 30 years old, so we'll be sticking to 150. So the first mile we'll get up to 150, that warm up, get the heart rate to that aerobic threshold, and then I'm gonna sit at that aerobic threshold and see what my mile splits are. I honestly I had a pretty bad head cold about a week ago, and I essentially I felt like I was on a good buildup of running, didn't run for a bit, and now I'm kind of getting back into things with some races on the horizon. So like a lot of people tend to do, even if you don't practice, zone 2 heart rate or the strictly maffetone training, I still think it's a really good idea. I do a lot of zone 2 training, I would say subconsciously, especially because it's winter. My average heart rate on most of my runs are sitting in like the 140s. So I'm doing a lot of zone 2 just inherently because I know that I don't need to be running fast all the time. So I don't. But yeah, this will be essentially a MAF test, and then I'm just going to tack on a couple miles that I'm going to do super nice and easy, just to get a little bit of a longer aerobic kick in, probably at least around a 2-hour workout. So I'm getting a good long run in, good long workout in, and we're also doing a full thorough MAF test in the first 6 miles. So yeah, join me. I'm gonna shoot while I'm out there, and then I'm gonna go over the splits back at the apartment. And yeah, this is a pretty thorough. I will be pretty spot on because I'll be doing the chest heart rate monitor. So it should be a pretty good test of where I'm at with my aerobic system and fitness, and it'll give me a kind of a good idea of where I'm at kind of moving forward, and hopefully I haven't lost too much. But yeah, so that was a super long intro. Let's get out there, let's hit the trails, I'll shoot some footage. Yeah, should be fun. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so we just did our 1 mile warm-up. We've got our heart rate up to about 150, but this is not what I thought it was gonna be. I honestly thought it was gonna be pretty clear and pretty easy running. So I don't think this can really count as a MAF test, but we can do a pretty long zone 2 workout. I just don't think. How to Fail a MAF Test by McCue. So you saw a teeny tiny bit of footage out there, and why you didn't see any more footage? Because the GoPro died. Like literally that 15-second clip you just saw was all I got. So basically I carried the GoPro on a selfie stick for 9 miles. Thankfully I was wearing my hydration vest, which just makes it easier to pack the GoPro on the selfie stick in the back pocket. So technically I just went for kind of a run, didn't document much, but I was really looking forward to trying to do, a full, really specific workout, the MAF test, within my 9 mile long run. Obviously, a couple issues came up, and let me tell you, explain how I failed the MAF test. But it ultimately, not really, because I ultimately did a really great, really controlled zone 2 9 mile run. But when it comes to the MAF test, and this is why I failed, is you really need to do it in an environment that's super consistent, on a really, flat, consistent surface, so that you can really kind of push your body to that exact amount and then be consistent for 5 or 3, 4 miles, whatever you're planning on doing. Ideally, there would not have been any snow or ice out there on the paved kind of trail that I was running on. If there was not, I would have been able to do my 1 mile warm up, get to about 150 in terms of heart rate, and then I could continue at that pace or at that HR, and then slowly see, you know, my pace decline as I put in the same amount of effort. And then those splits would have been good information for me. However, it was really inconsistent surface, and I just didn't have that constant variable that I should when doing a MAF test. I did everything else right. Ultimately, I did stick to, you know, the splits. When I look back at the splits, I stuck to my HR zone really, really tight. If anything, I could have pushed a little bit harder, but almost consistently averaged in the high 140s. And I was really sitting in that spot. It just wasn't really doable. And also those split times weren't really useful because I couldn't have gone too much faster without probably eating it at some point in the snow and the ice, and my feet weren't gripping super well. I did do this in the Novablast, but I also thought the pavement would be clear. So basically, I did not plan it out perfectly, but we can get into the positives because I got in a really great 9 mile workout, all in kind of a zone 2. You know, I averaged about 1150s, but I was out there for 146, because that makes sense. I was out there for about 1 hour and 46 minutes throughout that 9 miles, really slow going, but my average heart rate was about a 142, and I was super consistent. You know, that first mile, I got it up into the high 130s, and then I was really hanging out in the 140s. I kind of, for some reason, it seemed to like, I think I got a little bit just like wandering off in my thoughts later on. So you saw a couple in the high 130s, and then I tried to bring it back and stay a little bit more consistent in those mid 140s, and ultimately super consistent, great for the heart, great for the aerobic system, and also being out there for 1 hour and 46 minutes is ultimately a really good workout. You know, they say like, at least if you can't do, you know, super long mileage, it's not really about that. It's about being out there for close to 2 hours, 2 hours plus, just so that your body is used to that. That's a very good thing to do if you're marathon training or aspiring to run a marathon. If you can run for a long time, whether that's 9 miles or 16, 17 miles, that's still amazing practice for your aerobic system, and also just for your mental and emotional training of knowing what it feels like to go that far. So while I'm pretty sure I failed a MAF test, and I'll try again soon, maybe I'll go find a track for that perfect, consistent environment. I'll definitely be wearing the chest Garmin heart rate monitor. That's super important for something like this, just because it's a lot easier to stay consistent with your HR. And we'll give it another go. But still an awesome workout, and apologies I didn't get to film more. Maybe it's time to upgrade the GoPro Hero 8, or I have to keep it like, you know, like jammed in my pants while I run so that it actually stays warm and I'll have some battery life for shooting. But that's on me. Yeah, hopefully you got a little bit out of this video or a little bit of entertainment. But yeah, stay safe out there. I'll see you around. That's a weird thing to say. I'll see you around the YouTube. Yeah, peace. Another one. I'm trying to be more consistent on the YouTube.